Raise your hand when you see it. What's the first preposition that you see in sentence 1? It's going to require you looking at your list. Page. Not went. Into. Okay. When we find a preposition, you're going to find the prepositional phrase. It's always going to start at whatever the preposition is, and it's going to go to the noun. So following into, what is our noun after into? Remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing. Store. So I'm going to take a line, and I'm going to draw a line from into all the way through the store. So I'm going to cross it out just like that. Okay. So when we do this now, we have less words that we have to look at, which is great. So now we want to figure out our subject and our verb. Our subject and our verb of our sentence will never be in a prepositional phrase. So let's do our subject first. What's a person, place, or thing in this sentence? Abby? Shoppers. We are going to underline shoppers one time. That's our subject. And if you want to, you can write a little S above it. What is our verb in this sentence? What did those shoppers do, Paige? Went. We're going to underline that twice. Okay, then we have the word the left. Does anybody know what the is? What part of speech the is? What do you think, Mac? Okay. They're back here in the pencil holder. Anybody want to take a wild guess? The is an article. I want you to go ahead and circle it. Connor? Can you allow me to teach? Okay, then. I don't need your comments. Over here in the corner, I want you to write a and the. Put a little bracket around them and remind yourself that they are articles. I want you to realize that a and the are articles because these words trip kids up all the time. People want to make them prepositions, they want to make them nouns, they want to make them subjects, they want to make them something. So we just go ahead and label them what they are so that way we don't get them confused. So if you ever see an a, and, or the, you know it's an article and it can be circled. So then it's just out of your life. So looking at sentence 1, the was an article, shoppers is the subject, went is the verb, into the store is a prepositional phrase. Your sentence should look exactly like mine. Okay, number 2, a blender fell on the floor. What is my preposition in number 2? Paris. On is my preposition. My prepositional phrase is on the floor. Okay, so I found my prepositional phrase. Do I see any more prepositions in this sentence? Okay, this is the thought process that your brain should be going through. Do I see any articles? Do I see an a, an, or the? Okay, circle the a. Now I'm only left with 2 sentences left to determine subject-verb. Who or what is this sentence about? Abby. Blender. Underline blender once. And what did that blender do, Abby? Underline fell twice. Okay, number 3. We walk between the aisles of the supermarket. Do I see any prepositions in this sentence? What do I see? Connor? Between. Okay, between. What's my first noun that I find after between? Nope. There's one before that. Aisle. So, I'm going to start with between. I'm going to cross out from between to aisle. I'm going to pick up my pen. Do I see any more prepositions in this sentence? Of is my next preposition. So I want to make sure that my lines don't connect. So I've picked up my pencil, and now I'm going to start at of. Of the supermarket is my second prepositional phrase. When I go through and grade this, I want to know that you can realize that between the aisles is a prepositional phrase and of the supermarket is a prepositional phrase. If you're worried I'm going to think the two join each other, you can put a little line between them so that I know you know they are two separate prepositional phrases. Do I see an a, an, or the that has not been marked out yet? Is there an a, an, or the in that sentence? That have not been crossed out, because the ones that are there are in prepositional phrases, so I don't worry about them.
No.
There's not a the, an a, or an and that's left unmarked, is there?
No.
Okay, so now I move on to subjects. Who or what is the sentence about?
We.
We. Underline it once. What did we do, Connor? Walked. Okay, this verbal process that I'm going through, that I'm walking you through, is the exact process that your brain needs to go through as you are working your way through the thought process every time you do these sentences. If you go through this step by step like I'm doing, you will not make mistakes. You want to go in order of find my prepositions, find my prepositional phrases. I found all those. Now I want to find articles. I found my articles. Now I want to find subjects. Now I want to find verbs. If you jump around, that's when you're going to end up making mistakes. Okay, number 4. During the storm, we held onto the side of the boat. What are my prepositions in this sentence? Paris, what's one of them? What? During. So during the storm is my prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase is always going to start with the preposition, and it's going to go to the first noun that it comes after it. What's my next prepositional phrase? Paige? Not we. Of the boat is one. You're close. Alex? Onto the side. So I have 3 prepositional phrases. During the storm, onto the side, of the boat. Do I have an a, an, or the left in here?
Nope.
Okay, so now I'm on to subject. Who or what is this sentence about? We.
Again.
And what's my verb?
Held.
Held. See when you find your prepositional phrases and you get rid of them, how easy it is to find the subject and the verb of the sentence then? Because you've crossed out the majority of the words. Number 5, this is the last one we're going to do today. Outside our home, a pine tree grows. What's my prepositional phrase? Amber. No. Outside? Outside to where? Outside our home. Do we see any more prepositional phrases in this sentence?
No.
Do we see any articles? A, an, or the?
Yeah.
What do we see? A. Okay. Now we have left a pine tree grows. We need to figure out what the subject is. What is the actual subject of the sentence? You can only pick one word. Paris. Okay, of those 2 words, you can only pick one. Which one's it going to be? Tree. Pine describes tree. If you want to label it, you can take an arrow from pine and draw it over to tree. But tree is your subject. You've got to be careful on that when there is an adjective describing the noun. So pine is describing what kind of tree, but the actual subject of the sentence is just tree. And what is that tree doing? Grows. Okay, we're going to stop there today. Tomorrow, I'm going to turn you loose, and I'm going to let you do some by yourself, and then we'll go over and check them in class. But I wanted to walk you through 5 of them today so you can get the process of how we're marking them up. Questions you have for me? is a building skill. Like in math when you learn multi-step equations and you have to get one step in order to get the next step. This is like the math of ELA. If you don't understand this, you're going to be really lost in about 3 weeks. So you need to make sure that if you are not understanding something as the week goes on, that you are asking Mrs. Howard or I to clarify. Okay? Go ahead and put your bell work away. I need your 5 sheets of notebook paper out on your desk and your highlighters. 4.
Hey, Miss Howard, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?